Hello everyone! Welcome to week 1 of the 4th quarter. I am Ma'am Ruth Bell, your teacher on the go. And let me congratulate all of you for making this far. Despite the challenges brought about by the pandemic, you were able to make it. You're still here with me up to now. Just like what I used to say during the first quarter, you must never stop learning. And on that note, let us proceed to our very first lesson, which is judging the relevance and worth of ideas, soundness of author's reasoning, and effectiveness of the presentation. In this time of pandemic at the digital age, online media play a crucial role as we obtain information that we need through many platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and a lot more. And each provides rapid dissemination of information, which also allows us to access tools to keep us updated. But we have to remember that not everything we see or hear in social media is true. And that is why we should learn how to assess and filter data before we react or believe in a certain issue. For this week, you're going to do Learning Task 1 and Learning Task 2. So I hope you have your module with you together with your ball pen. And now let us proceed to Learning Task 1. Let us listen to the conversation of Mario and Clara.
Have you read the Facebook post circulating online since April 2? It was confirmed that the COVID UK variant has already reached our neighboring town, Lukban, Quezon. According to my friend who resides in a said town, the alleged person who tested positive is a medical professional who attended to a deceased patient. I am worried about my relatives who live there. I hope they are fine.
I think you're worrying for nothing, because earlier today, April 4, 2021, I have read some news from Inquirer.net published by news correspondent Delphine T. Malaria Jr. Based on the article, the Municipal Health Office of Lukban had clarified the issue. According to them, the mayor only wanted to quote one of the medical professionals who attended to the deceased patient, that there is a big possibility that it was caused by a UK variant, but there is no confirmatory test performed yet. They have also added that they are already trying to process a genome sequencing of a direct contact of the late patient, and the local chief executive only wanted the residents to be vigilant and safe.
Alright mga Marites, let's talk about the conversation. Do you know who Marites is? Ang dakilang chismosa. Anyway, after hearing about the conversation, let us answer these processing questions, and you may write your answers on your paper. First question is, which statements are more convincing, Clara's or Mario's? Sino mas kapanin-paniwala ang mga sinabi? Si Clara or si Mario? Number 2, what are the things you considered in making your choice? So what are the reasons or what are the factors you choose, for example, Clara, or why Mario? And number 3, what do you think is the impact of unconfirmed information spreading online? Or what is the effect of those unconfirmed information spreading online? Brace yourselves, for we are now proceeding to our lecture. As we try to gather information from various sources or platforms to keep us updated, our capability to judge the truthfulness and relevance of ideas is imperative. We must remember that before we believe the articles or the materials that we have obtained, we should check first if it is factual or misleading. Thus, we must know the different tips on how to distinguish factual or truthful information from a faulty one. As we go along with our lesson, I want you to remember these 3 most important words. First is relevance. Relevance is how appropriate something is to what is being said at a given time. In short, connection or being connected. For example, you saw a post online. Of course, it has a title. So you must check, are the sentences related or connected to the title? Or are the succeeding statements related or connected to the first statement. So that is relevance. Second word is truth. Truth is something that has been proven by facts or sincerity. Now, we have discussed this already from the third quarter. Okay? It is something that is true and that is proven. And the third word is soundness. Soundness is the quality of being based on valid reason or good judgment. Now let us discuss the tips on how to spot factual or truthful information. You must listen very carefully because this might also help you to determine whether niloloko ka na ba ng jowa mo. Char! So here are the 6 tips on how to spot factual or truthful information. Tip number 1. Consider the source. So you must investigate the site you are viewing or reading. Before even thinking of believing or sharing the post, you must check first the author or the source of that post. Baka mamaya, poster lang yan or fake account. There was this one time when Philippine Daily Inquirer and GMA7 clarified an issue about an article that was spreading online bearing their logo. So they clarified that it wasn't them. So imagine, yung mga ganung logo ng mga sources like GMA7 and Philippine Daily Inquirer ay ginagaya na rin or kinakopy na din. So it's really alarming that those things can be copied to spread fake news. That's why you better check first the source or the author of the post before you believe on it or you share. Tip number 2, read beyond. Now, headlines can be outrageous in an effort to get clicks. So you should focus on a whole story. You have to read and look for details such as statistics, date, name, and others. It is one of their strategies that they used online. Now, they're using and putting outrageous headlines. Sa pag nakita mo or naman nabasa ng mga netizens, tapos pag binasa mo naman, hindi naman pala. The content is very far from the headlines or from the title. So you must be very critical because as I said, para lang makagain ng clicks or ma-open yung site nila, they use those outrageous headlines. Tip number 3, check the author. Do a quick search on the author to find out if they are real and credible. Especially nowadays that trolls, fake accounts, or poster are rampant. So take time to check their profile. Look at their profile picture. Totoong picture ba nila yon or baka gumamit ng ibang picture? Look at their bio. Saan sila nagtatrabaho? Are they working at a Krusty Krab or sa puso, sa puso mo? Something like that. You can also check their other posts. Kapag nakita mo na parang very recent lang or kukunti lang yung mga posts na magtataka ka because that might be a very new account. Kapag bagong account lang, medyo nakakapagduda. It might be a fake account or ginawa lang nila for the purpose of spreading something that is not true. So again, take time to check the profile. Tip number 4, verify supporting sources. Determine if the given information actually supports the story. So double check the details, the information presented in the article if they really support the story. Tip number 5, check the date. Reposting old news stories does not mean they're relevant to current events. It should be updated. Let me share you a funny story. I think it happened last year during the rainy season. So it was raining hard and of course people were expecting wala bang pasok. Yan. So teachers and students were waiting for the announcement kung may pasok pa or wala. And so there was this one person who sent an announcement sa GC. So upon seeing the announcement, you will rejoice, ay, walang pasok. But upon double checking the announcement, it was dated last year. Okay, so same month, same day, but a different year. So, before magdiwang, before maniwala, the moral lesson of the story is double check the date. Finally, tip number 6, check your biases. Consider if your own beliefs could affect your judgment. Because we have our own beliefs or prior beliefs about something or about an issue, and this could affect greatly our judgment to the new post or to the new issue that we are reading. So check your biases. So guys, please do remember this. Checking the legitimacy of the information will keep us from being a victim of fake news or faulty information. While as a receiver of information, we need to sharpen our skill in judging the relevance and worth of one's ideas, since we may have to use it as our basis of our personal decisions in some situations. So, to wrap it up, the points to consider in evaluating the truthfulness of the information that you are reading or viewing online: you must check or consider the sources, the author, the details, the supporting sources, the date, and your own biases.
Just give you this scenario that happened last May 23 when it rained so hard, and around 6 to 7 p.m. of that day, there were thunders and lightning, and so some people posted videos of it with a caption, "Nag-aalboruto na naman ang Bulkang Taal." And of course, those posts were reposted or shared online. And what was the effect? It caused panic and fears to many. Now, residents from the different area around Taal volcano were really worried. They were calling their friends and relatives asking about what's happening to Taal volcano. And so I looked for other posts or other legit sources that would clarify the issue. And so I came across the post of Talisay MDRRMC, in which they clarified that it wasn't the Taal volcano, it was thunderstorm around Lemery, Batangas. So can you imagine the scenario or the effect of simply sharing or posting a video or something that was not confirmed or verified? You can cause dangers to many. So once again, you must be careful. You must think 1,000 times before you post something online.
Now that you know the different tips on how to spot factual and truthful information, let us verify your answers on the first activity. So we're going back to the conversation of Clara and Mario, but we are now in learning task 2. So let's do the fact check by accomplishing the table on learning task 2 of your module. You're going to put a check on the corresponding box for each item if it was clearly provided by the speaker. The person who will get the most checks is therefore the one who stated truthful ideas. So you have there the table which contains information provided by the speaker, and then you have Clara and Mario. So you're going to check the box whether the speaker provided the correct source or the appropriate source. So who between Clara and Mario has the appropriate source? Put a check. Who has the supporting details? Put a check. Who has the correct or appropriate or credible author? Put a check. Who has supporting sources? Put a check. And who has the exact date? So again, put a check between Clara and Mario. So remember, the one who will get the most checks is therefore the one who stated the truthful ideas. So that's it, guys, for our week 1. Hope you learned something new from our today's discussion. And let me end this session by quoting the leading lady of Vincenzo Casano. So she said there are only 2 things that she believes in the internet. Number 1 is the weather, and number 2 is time. So just like her, I want you to be very critical in judging the relevance and worth of ideas, soundness of others' reasoning, and effectiveness of the presentation. Happy learning, everyone! Keep safe and God bless us all.